Welcome to another video in the MediaWorks software series. I'm Scott, a media specialist at MediaWorks at BCIT. We've been looking at Audacity in this series of videos. Today we're going to consider the effects section. In this series, the one thing that should be obvious regarding audio is the myriad methods we have to edit, shape, control, and adjust the sound of the original files we are working with. In fact, in the volume video of this series, we did touch upon one important effect already, that of normalize. This video will just touch on a few of the more powerful and hopefully useful tools for radically altering the sound of your audio, the effects section. Found in the toolbar, the effects section is a vertical, alphabetically organized, and well thought out list of a slew of effects that can be used to powerfully alter the sound of your original file. When we choose an effect, or many effects, we must remember that an addition of this nature must be motivated. There should be a good reason for the change we are going to introduce to our audio. To see the potential of the effects in this list, it is necessary to have an audio file on the timeline as seen here, and a selection already made or the entire file selected. In this case, I'm going to make a selection of a section of the audio. This will allow the preview section of many of the effects to operate. Preview allows us to hear the change before we enact it. Once an effect is added to the audio, if we continue adding effects and close and reopen the project, we will not be able to undo the change we have made. Also, if using more than one effect, the undo up in the edit section will always go by the most recent. This is known in the digital realm as destructive editing. More expensive audio softwares are non-destructive. The effects occur in real time. First effect we're going to deal with is reverb. Make a selection on the timeline. Let's hear the original.
Easily to tell because the waveform is not very strong.
Let's choose the reverb effect. Let's talk about reverb, what it does. Reverb, if used sparingly, can create a sense of space in our audio. Using these sliders as seen here, paying attention to their position and numeric value to get the effect you're aiming for, we can kind of tailor the sound that we want. If we get something we really like, we can also save that preset with our own name. And often in the effects, we'll see factory presets and they already get us started. Small room dark, let's try that.
Easily to tell because the waveform is not very strong.
A subtle effect, but perhaps a little too strong still for what I was going for. Let's try room size.
Easily to tell because the waveform is not very strong.
You get a sense of an echo or not being in a totally what we call a dry area, but more of a wet sound. If we want to enact reverb, we hit OK. And you would have seen subtly the waveform actually changed. The next effect we'll go to is called compressor. Compressor is always used when editing music in Audacity and can thicken up vocal narration as well. Compression is the process of lessening the dynamic range between the loudest and quietest parts of an audio signal. We'll apply the compressor to a different section.
Some recordings made in Audacity will be made with a low volume, which will be...
And if, again, we have manage where we can save our own preset, and Audacity doesn't have any factory presets for compression like it did with reverb. Notice a change to the waveform, if any, when we hit OK. It got stronger. Two effects that don't have a preview are fade in and fade out. I'll make a tight little selection on our reverb part here. Effect, fade in. Notice the size of the waveform. Hear the effect.
Easily to tell because
like it sounds, it builds up. And fade out, make a selection at the end.
Very strong.
Subtle, a longer selection, we might hear it more.
Form is not very strong.
Weakens at the end. Fade in is usually used at the beginning of a track, especially in music or audio that builds in volume, and fade out at the end. The rest of the effects here in Audacity, I'll have a look at them again, are standard to digital audio. We will not go over them here, but where the situation demands their influence, they are found here and you're welcome to try them. Thank you again.